Hi preschool coaches, welcome to week 15 of the fall semester. So we're heading up towards the end. This week we're celebrating all things Thanksgiving. As a reminder, we are closed for class next week for the Thanksgiving holiday. And when we come back, we will be working on our routines. So this week we're gonna be focusing on our review skills, and we can also refocus in on our turkey ta-das and have them practice that. So either their double arm salute or their one arm salute. As far as warm-up games, we have lots of fun options. You can do parachute games with either the leaves or you can get some of the food items. I also have here some Thanksgiving style movement flashcards, things like crunch like apples. You can have them stomp, sway like a tree, those kinds of things. We can have that for their active warm-up, as well as if you are a freeze dance person, they can do a turkey freeze dance, which is a lot like the chicken dance where they're just gonna click their wings and waddle side to side. That would be another fun one for our warm-up. So let's go ahead and get to it. So again, we are reviewing a lot this week, so going over all our skills, and let's get to it. All right, let's take a look at floor. So again, this is our last week of doing our typical kind of obstacle courses, because when we come back from the break, we're going to start teaching routines. So first is our spotting station. That one's going to be our backwards rolls with our pizza hand. So backwards rolls to start, chin tuck, big push, all the way to their feet. We can also spread out our turkeys so they can practice their turkey ta-da, standing up and saluting. Next, they're gonna have their forward roll on the floor, so looking back. If you need an upgrade, challenge them to stand up tall or even do a jump at the end for our forward roll. Next, over here, we got a yoga pose. It's our triangle pose. There's a picture for them to see. So they're just gonna reach down on one foot and reach the other hand up. Then, they're gonna come over and they're gonna practice their star or straddle jumps for the first half of floor. So let me spin this around and we'll take a look at the second half. Again, you can break your floor obstacle course into two sections if you have a smaller class, or make it one big one. Over here we have our cartwheel station. Again, if your kiddos are more advanced, go ahead and remove the block and have them practice without it. So starting in our big lunge, cartwheel up and over, ending in our lunge. Next, they have a lunge and lever. So they'll find their lunge on the two dots, arms up, so hands come down, back leg lifts for their lunge and lever. Next, we move over to their wall crawl handstand. We should be getting pretty good at these by now. Walking our feet up. And then they'll have their handstand spot. So again, starting in their lunge, hands up, ending in their lunge. And that is it for our floor circuit. So let's head on to beam next. All right, let's take a look at our beam setup for this week. So starting on our road beam, this is gonna be our mount sequence. So again, they'll do their mount sequence in their routines. That's where we start with our little V-sit. Legs come behind. I'm gonna make my puppy dog tail. Then they're gonna bring that foot in front. Stand up. You can also have them practice their airplane or their arabesque after standing up. It's a good advancement for an older class. Then they're gonna come right along and there's a picture of our flamingo. So they're gonna stand like a flamingo, toe by knee. Next, they're gonna come over and they're gonna practice their high kicks. We're gonna take some nice straight legs, high kicks all the way down, jump, have maybe a little turkey ta-da moment here. Then they're gonna practice their backwards walks. Hands out to the side. This may or may not be your spotting station depending on the crew you have. Over on the high beam, I left this as a teacher's choice. So this can be whatever your class needs to work on, whether that's sideways, they want to work flamingo walks or ice cream scoops, whatever they might need some more review on. You can do it here. At the Red Star, they'll practice their dismount, whether that's a stretch, jump, and freeze. We have some friends working the monkey jump dismount or the cartwheel dismount, where they'll put their hands down. Big ta-da. Next, they're gonna do their turkey hops. So they can put their little tail feathers. They can make tail feathers by putting their hands on their back, and they're gonna practice hopping down the little turkey hops. Then they're gonna take a turn jumping in the leaves. Again, they can do straight jumps, tuck jumps, star jumps. If there's anything particular your crew needs extra practice on, that's a great spot for them to do it. And that will be it for our bean sequence this week. All right, let's talk about bars. So at your main spotting station, the low bar over there, that's gonna be what we've been drilling really hard this semester, our jump to front supports or our pullovers in forward roll dismount. So that'll be at your first main spotting station. So front supports, forward rolls, pullovers, those kinds of things. Next, they're gonna come practice their monkey walk. So hanging in their tuck, moving their hands down, or if you have a really young class, like 3-year-olds, they can practice their tuck hang here as well if they're not quite ready for the monkey walks. And then we're gonna practice our straddle travels again. So that's with our big strong arms. I'm gonna swing my legs and swing my feet up and over. Move my hands in front, tuck my feet behind me, and come down. Next, they're gonna practice their bear walks. So hands and feet. And then they got a little Thanksgiving tunnel to go through. Very last, they can practice their butterfly shape. So feet together or wings. Or if there's another shape or position that your kiddos need help on, like their lunges, or their straight bodies, or their tucks, you can have them practice whatever position here is good for your class, pike stretch, whatever they need to work on. So you'll notice lots of teachers' choices this week so that we can really cater to each individual class. And that's it for our bars setup this week. And last but not least, we've got our vault. So first they're going to start with a nice big turkey swing. So they're going to take a little swing on the rings and put them back. If you have a more advanced class, you can encourage them to do the bit arm hang and swing where they put the rings by their ears. Or if you have a younger class, you can do the straight arms where they just swing on the rings. Next, we're going to practice our squat on. So I'm putting my hands to the red. I'm going to try to either jump to my knees or my feet. So they really pull up and squat on. Next, they'll come down. We're going to practice our jump up to ta-da. Ta-da! Big jump down to the blue star. Next, they have another position square. So this can be anything from our tabletop, pike stretch, straddle stretch, any sort of position that your class needs to work on. The tumble track will also be a teacher's choice, so they can work their sequence jumps, straight, tuck, straddle, or if your crew has been having trouble with seat drops, they can practice seat drops another week. So whatever your class needs to work on the tumble track. And then at our main spotting station, I'm going to turn the camera a little bit, so I know you can't really see the mat. We're gonna drill our cartwheel. So this will be your main spotting station. They'll start with their big lunge. I have little dots for them to practice without the mats. So cartwheels for our main spotting station. Then they're gonna hop down and they're gonna do a little turkey dance. So they can make some wings, they can wiggle, they can shake their tail feathers, that kind of stuff. Kind of a fun little silly station right here. And then last, it's a little bit hard to see. I'm gonna angle it down, woo! That will be for candlesticks. So this is a good one to review. They're gonna put their bottom on the yellow star, roll back and put their toes on the ceiling. I know it's a little hard to see with the mat there, but that will be our candlestick station. And then they will start back at the beginning with their swing on the rings. That will be it for our vault. I hope we have lots of fun celebrating Thanksgiving this week. And then when we head back, we'll get into routine season. All right, have fun.